Hey y'all, it's your girl Missniecytv, and I'm here to do a review for Sistas Season 6, Episode 19. The episode picks up where it left off, and Penelope walks in on the girls as Danny is telling Andy that Penelope deserves to know before she brings his baby into the world, and Penelope's like, wait, what did you just say? And Sabrina's like, oh, nothing, and Danny's like, don't do that, and Andy's like, Danny. And Danny is like, what? She heard it. You might as well tell her now. Danny is like, Andy, tell her. And Andy is like, Penelope, you should talk to your fiance. And Penelope's like, I don't want to talk to him. Penelope's like, well, somebody please tell me what's going on. And Danny says, Gary and Andy been together for years. I can't take all this beating around the bush. Penelope's like, what? When? Penelope's like, why are you not talking to me? Andy's like, it's not my place. Penelope's like, oh yes it is, you were effing him. Andy was like, well they were. Andy's like, I think you should have a seat for this. Penelope's like, no, I don't want to sit down. Andy's like, are you sure? And Penelope's like, yeah. Andy's like, well, we're in love and I thought we had something special and I thought that I would be where you are. I tried to make it work with him and I thought he wanted to make it work with me, but it didn't turn out that way, so I ended it. Penelope was like, when did you end it? Andy was like, a week ago. Penelope was like, so what does this mean? Andy was like, he was with you when he was with me. Penelope says, so this was all happening while I was pregnant. Andy was like, yeah. Penelope is like, so he asked you to marry him too? Danny was like, as a matter of fact, the ring that you have on is the same ring that he proposed to Andy with. Penelope is like, is this true? Andy's like, yeah, that's my ring. Andy asked Penelope about a perfume that she was wearing, and Andy was like, that smells familiar because Gary bought it for me on a trip to Paris. Penelope's like, yeah, it's the same one. Penelope's like, this is too much, I gotta sit down. So she goes to sit down, and the boys come back in. Ben's like, why is everybody looking at me like that? And then he noticed his sister crying. He's like, Pen, you good? She's like, no. And Ben's like, somebody needs to start talking right now. And Gary's slowly walking in. So Danny goes, that MFer behind you should start talking. Gary's like, what? Penelope and Danny both tell Gary to tell Jordan. And Danny is like, if you don't start talking, I will. You won't like what I have to say. Gary's like, Penelope, can we please go somewhere and talk? And Danny's like, oh, no. You will stay right here because if y'all go somewhere and talk, you won't tell her the whole truth. And we need to make sure that she knows the entire truth. Gary's like, Danny, weren't you just leaving? This is a private matter. And Danny's like, ain't nothing you do private. Gary dismisses her. So Danny couldn't know it anymore. She's like, screw it, I'ma just do it. Danny goes on to say, he was with your sister and my friend Andy at the same time. They was basically sharing. She also says, you know the Rolls Royce she got? He bought it. And he got her a penthouse while he bought your sister an apartment. Danny also tells Jordan that, you know, he proposed to Andy, but she turned him down. So he proposed to your sister with the same ring that he was giving to Andy. Jordan says, man, is this true? Jordan asked Danny, how long ago was this? Danny was like, a week ago. Andy said, Penelope, how far along are you? She's like 7 months. Jordan's like, man, I should beat you behind right now. Tony was like, Danny, is this true? Danny's like, yeah. Tony's like, really? How could you do something like this after we let you in our circle? We talk about stuff like this, and how we're men that don't do this, and you turn around and do this to Jordan's sister, for real? Men don't do stuff like this, little boys do. I should take my belt off and whoop you right now. Danny's like, whoop him. Gary's like, first of all, both of y'all need to relax. Penelope, can we go somewhere and talk? Penelope's like, don't touch me. Gary's like, yes, I was seeing Andy. He's only seeing her and having sex with her because she was there. He tells Penelope that he only loves her, and that he never loved Andy and that she doesn't mean anything to him. She was just a side piece and she's not marriage material. And you can tell that this really hurt Andy to her heart because she better than me. Because if it was me, I would be up there like, he lying. He still stalks me. He still tries to call me. He still tries to show up at my house. Even looking at me through a telescope in my penthouse. So how can you say I mean nothing to you if you're doing all of this? You're just trying to say that so you can get back in good graces with her. Jordan tells Gary, my sister's really upset right now and you need to leave right now. So Gary leaves. Andy says I'm leaving too. But as Andy tries to leave, Jordan says, Andy, did you know? Andy's like, of course not. Then he turns around and asks the girls, and the girls say no. Over at the bar, we see Maurice, and he's talking to his bartender friend, and his bartender friend is like, where's Calvin? Maurice is like, I don't know, it's K night, and he's not here. The bartender friend's like, oh, okay, cool. The bartender friend's like, so you trying to get your life back together? I guess it's all over now. Maurice is like, actually, I have to go to the bank tomorrow to see if I can get my job back. And the bartender friend's like, oh, okay, that's good for you. You could have lost everything dealing with Q. Maurice is like, I know. The bartender friend's like, so tonight we're celebrating your freedom, and we can start by getting you a new man. There's actually somebody cute over there, and he's been looking at you all night, and he's actually coming this way. The guy introduces himself as Patrick, and Maurice is like, Maurice, and Patrick goes, I think I know you from somewhere. Maurice is like, where? Patrick goes, you work at Brookhaven, right? Maurice is like, yeah. Patrick is like, I always wanted to say hi to you when I was there, but I never did. He's like, where are you from? I never seen you here before. Patrick is like, this is not really my scene. Maurice is like, your scene? Patrick's like, yeah, gay bar. I don't really come out. I like walks in the park and stuff. Patrick's like, actually, I was about to leave. I saw you here, and I just wanted to say hi. Maurice is like, hi. Patrick is like, can I at least get your number? And Maurice is like, yeah, because you know he'll do anything for a man. He'll do anything. You went to jail for one, because it couldn't be me. Patrick's like, do you have a pen and a piece of paper? Maurice is like, what year is this? A pen and a piece of paper? Patrick's like, yeah, I don't do social media. Maurice is like, well, here's my phone, and put your number in it. Patrick's staring at Maurice's phone, like, who's that on your phone? Maurice is like, that's my friend. Patrick's like, is he my competition? Maurice is like, no, because he passed away some years. Then we see Andy, Danny, and Sabrina in the car, and they're coming from Jordan's house, and they're just talking about what happened, and Danny's like, I can't believe that just happened. I'm like, girl, you were the one that instigated the whole thing, and I'm not even mad at you, because if it was me, I would have did the same thing. But Danny's in the back of the car calling Gary all types of names, and Sabrina tells Danny to stop. And Danny's like, no, he deserves every name to be called. Sabrina's like, can you stop? Can't you see that Andy's hurting? Sabrina's like, I'm taking you home. Danny's like, no, you're not. I don't want to go home. So she calls Karen, and she tells Karen that they're on the way over there. Sabrina's like, no, you're not. I'm taking you home. Danny's like, no, you're not. We're going to Karen's house. Over at Zach and Fatima are in their bed, and Zach is up, but Fatima's sleeping, and she wakes up and she notices that Zach is awake. And she's like, why are you awake? Zach is like, I can't go to sleep not knowing where Michael's sleeping at. Fatima's like, yeah, I know, but we'll get him. I did not expect my life to turn out this way. A 5-minute mistake turned into me having a child with a bat-crazy mother that abuses him. Zach tells Fatima, if I would have knew that I had a kid out there, I would have been there from the beginning. And he goes on to tell her this story about how 5 minutes in the VIP room for $20 turned into Michael being conceived, and Zach tells Fatima, I just can't wait till the morning to see what happens. Fatima says if you go to sleep now, the morning will come faster. So Zach and her do the big spoon, little spoon, and they go to sleep. Over at Hayden's, Gary comes over and tells Hayden everything that happened with Andy and Penelope, how he got outed, and Hayden's like, why don't you just talk to Penelope? And why don't you just talk to Andy? Gary's like, I can't do that because there's something I gotta tell you. Penelope's pregnant. Hayden's like, what? Gary's like, yeah, I don't know what to do, but I gotta make a decision, and it's really hard. And I don't want to because I like Penelope. But Andy is Andy. I'm like, sir, be for real. How are you engaged to someone, but you don't even love them? You just like them. I think you just like the thought of marriage and not actually being committed to it. Hayden's like, I don't know what advice you thought I was gonna give you, but you have money, right? Gary's like, of course I have money. Hayden's like, problem solved. Gary's like, no, problem not solved. Hayden says, can we hurry this up? I gotta get back upstairs to my wife. Gary's like, you don't even know that girl, and how long have you been with her? Hayden's like, that don't matter. You're just over here trying to ruin my stuff just because you got caught up. But my wife is upstairs, and I gotta get back. Over at Karen's, the girls finally make it over there, and Andy sits down all sad, and she starts crying. And Andy lets her know what happened, and she's like, oh no, I knew that nigga wasn't it. And then Andy goes, he also told me that I mean nothing to him, I wasn't nothing to him, and I'm just a side piece, and I'm not marriage material. Karen's like, he said that in front of Jordan? Andy's like, yeah. Andy's like, is this my karma for being with him while he was with Jasmine? And the girls call her and say no. I'm like, Andy, I don't even feel bad for you. How you get him is how you lose him, but I wish the girls didn't coddle and pacify her all the time, making her seem like she's actually a victim in this, when she's not. The only victim in this is Penelope. Karen suggests that the girls take a break from dating, and Andy's like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Danny said, don't do that, because you could be stopping your blessing because of Gary. Don't let Gary stop you from receiving something great in your life. Back at Zach and Fatima are in the bed asleep, and while they're sleeping, Fatima receives a call from the neighbor Cheryl, telling her that there's a lot of ambulance outside of Michael's house and that they need to get there quick. I really hope that there's no life-threatening injuries to that baby, because that would really break my heart. But Zach wasn't rushing out the house fast enough for me. If I got a call about my child and there's ambulances outside of his home, I'm not gonna go to the closet and try to find some clothes. I'm gonna find the nearest piece of clothing next to me, and I'm gonna put it on, and I'm gonna start running out the door. Let me know what you guys think about the episode. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your bell notifications. Bye!